before we start anything, could you guys just give us a brief introduction on you guys?
Yeah, sure. So we're a band called Springs. We formed back end of last year from Birmingham. We go to BIM, Birmingham, all three of us. And pretty much we're the band. We released our first single, Free After Party, in November last year. And we've got an EP coming out soon and we're going on tour.
So you've recently released a single called Uncool. Can you tell us a bit about the writing process for that and the meaning behind it?
Yeah, sure. So that Uncool was a weird one because that one was the first one that we released kind of with this lineup. So Free After Party was the single before that, and we released that. That was very much kind of me and Harris really wrote that because Joe wasn't in the band at the time. So this was the first one where we were all kind of in the writing process, and and it's the first one that I mixed as well. So I wrote it and mixed it, and that was the first one we kind of collaboratively put together, sending it back and forth on emails and stuff like that. But yeah, the writing behind it, that's a weird one. It's the first kind of song that I wrote about my girlfriend, and it was kind of the first one where I kind of went in depth and raw about kind of emotively, and it's not really a story, which most of our songs are. Most of our songs are a story, where this one's kind of like an emotion-driven song. And the whole recording of that vocal line, I did it about 3 o'clock in the morning, and she was sleeping in bed, which is why it's kind of faint and quiet. But it's one of those things where the rawest take is the best one. I've tried to re-sing it over and over, and I haven't really got any better than that take. So
you guys have got quite a slower and more unique sound than lots of other bands we see on the Birmingham scene. Is there any inspirations kind of for this uniqueness that you guys have got going?
It's odd really, because the 2 songs we've released, we've realised it in the last few weeks. The 2 songs we've released are quite slow. If you check out our YouTube, we've got a few live videos on there, and our EP is filled with kind of this mixture of influences. So we're an indie band, but we didn't want to sound like this stereotypical indie band that everyone's being at the moment. So Harris is primarily, a metal drummer and a rock drummer. So we kind of take influence from that portion. Joe is a fantastic jazz guitarist, and kind of his influences are coming from that of, Jeff Buckley, and but also the rock root of Guns N' Roses and stuff like that. And I know myself, I'm heavily into kind of the surf punk scene in America and emo, so My Chem and all that. But then we kind of come together, we make indie music, and it's a bit of a coincidence. The 2 songs we released are slow, but we have a mixture. We don't want to kind of stick to one sound and one genre. We want to kind of brand ourselves over. Definitely.
Speaking of the Birmingham scene, you guys are relatively new to it in terms of coming on and making music. What have your experiences been so far with the community and putting on shows and kind of everyone that you've met along the way?
I guess the promotion in Birmingham has been really good. It's pretty easy to get gigs around the city. People like the Future Sound Project and Sonic Gun and Birmingham promoters are really helpful. Especially for these upcoming acts, if you haven't got that much music released, it's so hard to get your name out there. But companies like that are really helpful, and the BIM community and the ACM community are really helpful as well. They'll come and support all your gigs and stuff. So I guess it's a lot easier being in this university community that we're in. It's a lot easier to get people to your gigs, to get people to listen to your music. So we're lucky in that aspect. I can see how it could be hard for other people, but it's been relatively smooth running so far. We've done all right with the time that we've had, but I think it's like I said, it's partly due to the community that we're involved with.
So you guys have got a new EP coming out in October. Do you guys have a plan on a specific artistic direction that you feel you're going to move into? Because we've seen quite a lot on your Instagram that is quite unique.
Yeah, so the EP that's coming out is called 3:17 AM. It's coming out on the 3rd of October, and we're doing a show with Birmingham promoters at the Sunflower Lounge. We've got some great artists coming on that, which we're confirming in the next few weeks. But the artistic direction of it is we want to make everything kind of more over the top than we have done already. So Free After Party is going to be the first song on that EP, just on the basis of when we recorded that originally, Joe wasn't part of the band, so that's a whole new life brought into the band with Joe added on, and we've completely given it a new life, and it's going to be a lot better produced. It's going to be a lot cleaner and tighter. And then we have an acoustic track on there that is it's based on an acoustic guitar track, but it's just weird, and it's got loads of synth elements, and then the other 3 tracks are hard, pretty much. They're hard emo, and it's just going to be kind of big indie guitar sounds and big solos and complex drum patterns and kind of like synth pop, synth sounds and auto-tune for vocals, and we're just trying to expand our kind of direction. So every song on there's a bit different.
So you've mentioned that you've got your headline show at the Sunflower Lounge in October. What should people expect to see from you guys when they come to you live? And are there any insights that you can give that we can expect to see at this headline show for the EP launch?
I think the thing with our shows is you've got to take every song at a time. So like we have had shows where we've been in like hardcore scenes. So like we supported, our first gig was with Distant Blue and But As Aliens, which are primarily punk bands. So to see people like trying to pit about and make mosh pits to like something like Free After Party, it's very it's very interesting. So like you just got to take every song. You just got to come with a very open mind. You just got to dance and you got to move about and just really like take it in and take the vocal lines in. And if you feel music, our shows are like perfect for you because lyrically they're very in depth and we work so hard on the tones and the sounds that, you know, we try to put on a show. We're trying to put on a show that should be at the Arena Birmingham, but in the Sunflower Lounge. That's the way we're trying to take it. The one thing we can confirm is we've got the Chasers as main support, which are one of my favourite bands at the moment. They're incredible and they're from the same scene as us, and they're going to bring a whole different. Their stuff is really good. So yeah, we've got them supporting us, and there's going to be a lot of surprises, a lot of new songs that aren't on the EP we're going to be playing that are ready for our next EP. So yeah, it's going to be a good show. It's going to be the best show we've got. So
what are some of the other things that we should expect to see from you guys post lockdown, be it musically or like fan interaction? Have you guys got any plans based on that?
So we've got quite a few shows coming up. We're trying to book our time because obviously. So we were meant to be on tour at the moment. So during lockdown, our tour was meant to start on the 23rd of April, which consisted of 12 cities in the UK. And me, Harris and Joe organised all of that. We didn't use any promoters. We organised all of that. So it's quite annoying that lockdown has come, you know, forward as it has, because we spent months trying to plan that and it hasn't been able to come off. So we're definitely going back on tour. We're arranging a tour for the early part of 2021. We've got music videos in the works because after our EP we are releasing a single quite soon after, which is another completely different direction for us, which we can kind of talk about but kind of can't because it's, you know, we want it to be a surprise. But that's got a show and we're going to do a single launch for that at Mama Roo's, which is going to be really big. We've got 4 amazing support acts on that and it's going to be huge, and it's going to be, that song's definitely a big political statement. So we're ready for that, and we've got an accompanying music video for it and stuff ready to go. And it's going to be the most kind of out there we've gone. Definitely, that's kind of what we've got planned after that.
What was it like organising a tour by yourselves?
Stressful. A lot of kind of 5-hour Skype calls going on through the night, trying to figure it out.
Yeah, well, you know, discussing who's going to support us, if we're going to support or not, because a lot of the dates are obviously, we were playing in like North, we were playing in London and Manchester and Bristol and all those places. Like we really haven't really got that big of a fan base in those places. So it's whether do we headline, do we co-headline, or do we support? So, you know, we all had to knuckle down and get that sorted. It took a while. And
there's the whole tour element of it, of just like booking shows, but then you've also got like, we bought a load of merch, which is just sitting in my bedroom. Do you know what I mean? We tried to rebrand the whole. We've brought out new merch, so we only have like a few t-shirts out at the moment where we got loads of merch for it, and trying to contact bands to get on it when everything was so up in the air. It's like we had a really big show planned in Norwich, which is a co-headliner with one of Joe's favourite bands, Pink Lemonade, and you know, just stuff like that. It's just we want to try and get that back again. But organising it was stressful, but once it paid off, once we got like, right, we've got 4 shows, and the next day it's like, oh, we've got a 5th show, and just seeing it build was very, very satisfying. And, you know, we're excited to do it again because we've done it once, so we're booking them all again, and it's going to be bigger this time. So because of the time frame we had, we got 12 shows, which was very good, but we're going to try and expand that a lot more, and we're going to have more shows, and we're going to have a longer tour, and we've already got one extra show definitely, so whether we get more is very hopeful.
So next we've got a little quick fire round. So the first thing that comes to mind when we ask you these questions, just kind of shoot with it. Individually, who would be your dream collaboration in music, whether it's like past or present? It could be anybody.
I'll start with this one. Fuck it. I'm a big fan of Green Day and Swimmers. Me and Dids love Swimmers. So I think it'll be a dream to collaborate with them because I think we all have like very similar tastes in music, you know, with that sort of indie and like surf rock kind of stuff and just them weird sounds and stuff. So I think Swimmers or Green Day for me would be a dream collaboration.
Man, I'd love to collaborate with Swimmers. That'd be so cool.
It would be.
Like Swimmers or like, I don't know, like Viola Beach. That'd be a really cool collaboration.
Yeah.
If we collaborate with Viola Beach, we could. Yeah, I love Viola Beach.
Mine would probably be probably Jeff Buckley or Jacob Collier would be my dream two collaborations. Both mad.
Well, not about Taylor Swift.
Oh, or Taylor Swift, mate. I do love Taylor Swift.
So individually, of the venues that you guys have played, what is the favourite venue that you guys have done shows in?
Oh, Deadwax was awesome. We played a show at Deadwax supporting Pamela Fellows with the Future Sound Project that was back in January. And that one was cool because Deadwax hasn't really been open long. So just like the whole vibe of it and just the atmosphere in that gig specifically was just like, it's just really cool. It was just a really good gig. And it was the best gig we played, I think, personally.
It was fun to see like a mosh pit at that show as well because that was the first time I'd seen us have a mosh pit.
It was the first time people were singing as well. People were singing to our song Desire, which isn't even out yet. And it's like, you know, people are singing the chorus to that. It's just like it's so surreal.
My favourite venue. We haven't played there yet, but I mean we've got the headline at the Sunflower Lounge. That's always a top venue. Played there a few times, but not with Springs. It's thick. But with Springs, I mean, although it wasn't the best gig we've done, I think the sound that we had at the Hare and Hounds was the best we've sounded live. Personally, I think we sounded.
Yeah, it wasn't our best gig, but as a band, we kind of came together for that gig.
Oh yeah, I think that's the highest that we've sounded.
Yeah, and to say that was the first gig where we were a three. So our bassist left us after our January gig, and we had pretty much 4 weeks to rebrand ourselves and get a bassist in, teach them all the materials. So that bassist was like Sam Bolton, and Sam came in just for that gig and just like did us a massive favour. And for how tight we actually sounded on the night, it was incredible to say we'd only been a band for that lineup for like 3 or 4 weeks.
What would you guys say was your favourite song when you were growing up that maybe like your family kind of brought you up around, or possibly the first song that you kind of found yourself that kind of made your music?
I know my dad was a massive Cure fan, so just listening to like The Cure was definitely kind of like I was built up around that, and like Boys Don't Cry, and the whole kind of 80s Brit scene. I was definitely brought up around that. It hasn't come through. It certainly hasn't been influenced our music, but I remember hearing Boys Don't Cry from like a young age, and like The Jam and Madness and people like that.
I guess for me, probably hands down, growing up, the best song I ever heard was "Sweet Child of Mine" by Guns N' Roses. That introduced me to Slash, the guitar player, and the band, and that whole scene. It was one of the reasons why I started playing guitar. So I guess, yeah, growing up, it was easily that song.
I think for me, it's got to be Green Day because there was a big influence when I was growing up and like sort of getting into music in general. Like songs like Jesus of Suburbia was just like a teenage anthem for me. So yeah, Green Day's just the band.
If you guys could play any venue anywhere in the world, which venue would you guys choose?
Wembley.
Sunflower Lounge.
I'd love Wembley because that'd be mad.
I think you can't beat Madison Square Garden, man.
Ooh, that's a shout.
Wow, that'd be incredible.
It's like really shit, but I'd love to play Rock City in Nottingham. I'm from Nottingham, but like just seeing gigs and like to Rock City, like I've always looked at that venue just like, oh yeah, I'd love to play there. Once we play there, it's like, oh yeah, we've done really well.
Who would you guys say is the best band that you guys have seen live?
I'd say either Swimmers, definitely, because they're like my favourite band. I've got like 2 tattoos of them. Like they're amazing, and just their show is just incredible. Or the 1975. They were amazing. They were so good live.
Probably a Download Festival 2018, Avenged Sevenfold headlined on Friday night. That was by far the best show I've ever seen, the best band I've ever seen live. It was just flawless, incredible.
I think I've seen a lot of bands in my time. I go to a lot of gigs anyway, but there's this one band called Polyphia that I like. They're like incredibly technical, and I just thought that is the tightest I've ever seen any band play in my life. So they're probably up there for me.
Just out of curiosity, did you see Polyphia at the Mill?
I did, yeah.
Oh, I really wanted to go to that. Literally,
Yeah,
I was just trying to get tickets.
You missed out, man. There was people crowd surfing and everything. It was absolutely crazy.
They're such a mad band. So just before we wrap up, we've got a playlist we're putting together on Spotify called Soapy Bops. It's basically, we're just asking each band that we interview what songs they prefer to sing to in the shower. So if you guys have any songs that you like, just go to sing in the shower songs, what are they?
Good question.
Obviously, it's After Party.
After Party, yeah. Tom Stockdale sings that in the shower. Tom Stockdale, he's a YouTuber. He's got like 300k subscribers, and he like loves us. And he always says, "Oh, I sing for After Party in the shower all the time." It's like,
One's Jeff Buckley.
I like country as well. So there's this song called 5 O'Clock Somewhere by Alan Jackson.
Oh mate, that's a tune.
what a banger!
Yeah, no, it's a country classic, and I think just singing like the chorus in the shower is just like so monumental.
I'd say like if you're too shy to do 1985 song, they're singing that all the time. Like everyone's getting sick of me. I'm singing it all the time. Love it. Sing it in the shower.
Okay, so before we wrap up, do you guys have any final messages for anyone watching, and where can everyone find your music and find you on social media?
Yeah, we mainly operate on Instagram, social media wise. So Instagram is at We Are Springs. And then we're on Spotify, we're on Apple Music, and we're on SoundCloud. We're doing a lot on YouTube at the moment, so just search Springs and you should be able to find us. We've got podcasts every week, and we've got like drum covers and live videos and all sorts cracking off.